A new world order is rising, and if you're not paying attention, you are completely missing the point. Almost 99% of the world is asleep right now while this new world order is raging and it is starting to roll out. And we are going to be talking about this and breaking it down fully. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. And also, if you're not already following me on all social media platforms, down in the description, there is a link. You can follow me on all social media platforms to stay up to date on everything crypto and finance. And also join the free Discord as well to make sure that you guys are capitalizing on all of the information in there for free to crush these crypto cycles and take a ton of profits. Now, with that in mind, let's go back to March 5th of this year, where we saw BRICS announce its creation of independent payment system based on cryptocurrency and blockchain. This was pretty much the start of everything, right? We knew that crypto was going to play a very key role on pretty much everything finance related. As we started to see a pushback on the US dollar and de-dollarization really kind of becoming a big topic point, that's when we start to look at, all right, well, if they are trying to get away from fiat currencies and the US dominated financial system, what are they going to look at? Well, everyone thought, all right, well, yeah, maybe it's going to be crypto, but we don't know. Are they going to create their own financial system? Are they still going to, utilize fiat? Well, now back in March, we heard that it was going to be blockchain and crypto. It was going to be based on these two things. And then more recently, we saw this, which was announced on August 3rd. Just in, Venezuela is at the doorstep of joining BRICS. The country's executive vice president says BRICS is setting up a multi-currency system. Venezuela is in BRICS, is setting up an alternative to SWIFT, and they are in. BRICS has put forward proposals in trade. They are in. Venezuela also confirmed it has been invited to attend BRICS Plus Summit in Kazan in October. Now, one thing that I will say is that as we focus on the BRICS summits, yes, we typically see a lot of information coming out regarding finance, payments, and how they are going to push this new system. The thing about these announcements from the BRICS is that they might not seem like a big effect to everyone, right? Like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. I don't really care about it. They're not really going to challenge the dollar. The dollar's still fine. The dollar's still the, reserve currency. But I've said it many times in the past, death of a thousand cuts. As we start to see more and more of the pushback against the dollar and against SWIFT, we start to see it all building and building and building, and all at once we'll start to see it crumble because it's all pressure, right? It will continue to build up and build up, and if we don't do anything, if the US doesn't act quickly on this, they are going to fall. This is why we look at US dollar stablecoins. This is why we look at crypto adoption specifically. This is also why we look at regulations around crypto. But also, even over here, we have Putin eyes crypto for new global finance system. Could Ripple transform the global financial landscape as the Federal Reserve once did? Wall Street analysts speculate that BRICS coalition, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, aims to challenge the dominance of the US dollar, potentially with a Ripple crypto strategy. Now, Ripple itself is not going to be utilized here. Ripple is a US-based company. They also act accordingly to sanctions. Now, XRP and the XRP ledger could be utilized. They can go around Ripple and they can utilize XRP and the XRP ledger. Anyone can utilize it. It's very hard to utilize Ripple or Ripple payments in this case because of them being a US-based company. So to answer this question, right, is Russia utilizing and going to utilize Ripple payments? No. Can they utilize XRP and the XRP ledger? 100%. They could actually even build something very similar to Ripple payments and utilize XRP within it. They could do that. But we don't know specifically what they are going to do. But one thing that I have been focused on is GDP. They're saying that by roughly 2025, BRICS will be grossly outperforming the G7 countries in GDP. This is very interesting. In fact, just recently, they flipped the G7 in terms of GDP growth. BRICS is 31.5%. The G7 is 30.7%. This is why what the BRICS are doing right now is very important to focus on. We need to keep a close eye on this. Now, the New World Order. Okay, back in August of 2023, we saw the BRICS Summit 2023 seeking an alternative world order or New World Order. And the discussion there was also moving against the dollar and getting around sanctions. It's time to modernize and move against the West-based financial systems. And it was more so, a discussion on what's going to happen with the petrodollar. Because the petrodollar deal recently, everyone started to talk about how it's, failing, it's done, it's dead, they're not renewing it. And we don't really hear too much about it anymore. It was a very big deal in that instance, but now we're not really hearing much about it. One thing that I will say is that as we achieve instant settlement through crypto, blockchain, or any digital currency, it completely defeats the purpose of a reserve currency. So as we start to see what BRICS are doing and how they're moving towards, crypto and blockchain-based payments, it's all focused on CBDCs. CBDCs are the new world order, but it's not in the way that everyone is anticipating. If we go over here, Fame21 More posted this back in August of 2023. And this is a very heavy discussion. It's a 27-second long clip, but it says the average schmuck is going to be wiped out. It's a new world order. And yes, they will be, because like I've said, roughly like 99% of the population is asleep at the wheel. They are distracted by everything in front of them, TikTok and, this and that. They're not paying attention to what's happening.
It is for this reason that South Africa continues to advocate for an open and rules-based global governance, trade, financial, and investment system. It must be a system that does not depend on the exercise of power or unilateralism, but by advancement of the interests of the peoples of the world. It is for this reason that South Africa...
And there you have it, right? Moving against this power play of finance, or if you will, the weaponization of the US dollar and the US dollar financial system, or SWIFT. This is a pushback. We are now starting to see this new world order rising. BRICS have orchestrated this. And even more recently, from the BCG, the Boston Consulting Group, they posted this back in April, the end of April, an evolving BRICS and the shifting world order. The key takeaways were the 10 BRICS plus nations account for half the world's population and 2/5 of trade and include major energy producers and importers. 12 more nations have applied. The bloc is starting to build institutions with important implications for energy trade, international finance, supply chains, and technological research. Global companies will need to factor geopolitics into their investment strategies and strengthen their capacity to capture the opportunities and mitigate the risk of BRICS expansion. And yes, as we look at what's going on, this is what I mean by death of 1,000 cuts. BRICS have been expanding rapidly while the US drags their feet. They have done nothing around, crypto regulations, adoption, acceptance. They haven't even embraced any of the new age technologies. We're still sitting here doing nothing while we continue to see the BRICS expanding, and starting to become a dominant force. This is why I've always said the clock is ticking when it comes to this new world order. And it's now starting to truly become a problem. And this is how it has evolved, right? Leaders of the original BRICS nations held their first summit in 2009 to discuss reforming international financial institutions, which they believed did not adequately address the interests of the global South. Aside from the United Nations and G20, which included all 5 BRICS, There was no major forum where emerging markets could discuss their own economic and geopolitical agendas. Development assistance and funding for infrastructure through financial institutions established largely by Western powers after World War II often came with challenging strings attached. There has been skepticism from the beginning over whether, BRICS would evolve into a functioning bloc, but over the years, as we have outlined already, they have been growing and they become more interconnected. Decades of rapid growth have also given many of these economies far more weight in the global economy, both as producers and consumers. Because many of these nations are engaged with both advanced economies and China, which is perceived as an economic and trade superpower, they can create another coalition less dependent on the West. And that's what we are now starting to see. And as they start to embrace these new technologies like blockchain and crypto and tokenization and things like that, the big question is, what is the US going to do? That's the big question here. What is the US going to do? Well, what we're going to start to see is an implosion of the old system. And that's going to lead us down the path to blockchain and crypto becoming the new financial system. This is where we look at, all right, well, if this is going to happen, how can we get behind this? How can we embrace this technology as well? Well, it's by investing into the players that have been mentioned within some of these documents. For an example, big shout out to Smoke Dog for this. Yes, BRICS Journal cites the features of the XRP ledger as an example of what their new payment system could be based on. Because going back to that original view, right, of what they're doing, yes, they are focused on the efficiencies of some of these networks, like the XRP ledger. We have in 2019, the BRICS Business Council formed a working group studying the possibility of creating a special trade facilitating BRICS cryptocurrency to ensure uninterrupted paperless document flow. In fact, in order to achieve the BRICS goal of de-risking trade settlements in national currency, there is no need to create a specialized cryptocurrency for document flow. Funds needed to execute the contract can be temporarily pre-stored in a linked virtual escrow-like account associated with the contract to guarantee fund availability at the time of execution. And they quote it, the XRP Ledger 2020. Now also, over here, BRICS development of a new payment system that includes digital currencies is accelerated by the implementation of ISP 20022. Now this is ISO, not ISP 20022. The momentum behind these changes and connections will have significant implications globally. And yes, it will. And in fact, we have down here that this is accelerated by ISO 2022, where it is only a matter of time before regional economic blocks experimenting with digital currencies totally bypass usage of USD. And once we see that, the question is, what does the US dollar become? And what will the US do? We need to have some big bang event where we move away from the old financial system and we usher in to the new financial system. A financial system based on cryptocurrencies, based on these new financial tools that are realizing in and revolutionizing digitalization around all of these major industries and sectors. This is why I focus on this space so much. It's not about, oh, what meme coin is pumping 10x. No, I focus on what's happening around our current financial system. What's going on around the global financial system? The BIS has given us a look at how this new financial system would look like through the internet. This is what's happening. And over here, we have expansion on ISO-based cryptocurrencies. Only ISO-based cryptocurrencies that are assigned a digital token identifier will achieve higher trade volumes and widespread acceptance. World is inching towards faster payments with fewer hurdles. This is all through the new world order. And here we have money moves, and this is the full breakdown. And this is where that quote comes from on the bottom right. You also have the Ripple logo here. You have Bitcoin and even Litecoin. It's just very interesting. And here we also have the first PDF file. This is the quote where cryptocurrencies that participate in the ISO system will gain widespread acceptance and differentiate themselves from other competitors in the increasingly crowded cryptocurrency space. Remember that XRP, Ripple specifically as a company, was the first company to join the ISO standards body around ISO 20022, and it was centered out on DLT. We have, as a result, the ISO issued the digital token identifier standard, allowing cryptocurrencies to be recognized as legitimate currency under the ISO system. The use of ISO recognized cryptocurrencies in international financial transactions will help cryptocurrencies achieve widespread acceptance through increased trading volumes. This is very significant. Now, all of this is happening right now. Listen, as we focus on what's going on, the standards, we're now starting to see regulatory pushes. All of this is happening where conflict is at all-time highs. The financial war that's been ongoing between the West and even the BRICS nations, it's becoming red hot. And it's all leading us towards some big move. What's that big move? Is it going to be Russia launching their CBDC? Is it going to be Russia, launching this financial system? And then from there, we start to see the U.S. pushing their new financial system based on, blockchain or so. It could be, because this could very well be the domino effect that happens where every single nation is now launching a blockchain or cryptocurrency-based financial system. Or it could even just lead towards the BIS launching the Finternet, where specific players from this space are handpicked that they're working with, that we know of. And that's where we start to see the rollout of the new financial system or the new world order. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, this has been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.